We are going to make America great again, greater than ever before.
We are counting down the hours until Donald Trump becomes our nation's next president.
A lot's going on down in the Capitol this morning. We're going to show you, and we're going to bring you with a live look right now. This is of the podium. That's where Donald Trump is going to be giving his address later on today.
Yeah, plenty of room for all the guests, all the people that are going to be there today, but there are a lot of people sitting out. We'll tell you more about that as well. All not peaceful in the hours leading up to the inauguration either. We'll show you the major cities where people marched against the president-elect and where a protest will happen right here in the Capital Region later today.
Yeah, we have a lot to get to. It is 6:30 on your Friday morning, and thanks for joining us.
All of our Inauguration Day coverage coming up in less than a minute. Before we do that, let's get you what you need to get out the door this morning, namely that being your forecast with meteorologist Alyssa Caraprice. Still unseasonably warm out there.
Yeah, temperature is not terrible this morning. We should be in the teens this time of the winter in the mornings, and we've just been in the 30s. But looking at some wet weather heading into tonight for us, but for the D.C. area, it looks to be throughout the day, a gray kind of rainy day with drizzle around too. Let's show you that forecast for the inauguration ceremony a bit later. 49 is the high. Around lunchtime, it should be in the mid-40s though. And skies looking overcast, on and off rain and drizzle. Now, our day is going to be dry. It's tonight that we bring in that rain, and it's the same batch of rain that the D.C. area is seeing. Low to mid-30s for most of the area to start your Friday off. Not terrible out there. And the high is again going to turn mild. 43 in the Capital Region this afternoon. There could be some intervals of sunshine in the morning, and then we turn overcast later in the afternoon with that wet weather arriving for your Friday evening. I'll be tracking that in your full forecast and the really mild temperatures expected for the weekend coming up in just a bit. Guys?
And taking a look outside at traffic this morning, probably a little bit easier going here in the Capital Region than it is in D.C. trying to get around this morning.
Yeah.
Things look good on the Northway. No accidents on 511. That's your CBS 6 Eye on Traffic.
Actually, Jack, to be fair, is it ever easy getting around D.C.?
I don't think so, but today especially. Now just about 6 hours away from history being made as Donald Trump takes the oath of office to be the 45th president of the United States. As you can see, we are counting down every second. We've got this handy-dandy countdown clock for you. And what are we at now? Let's see, 5 hours, 27 minutes.
Yeah, not far away. So here's a live look at Washington this morning. So this is the podium. That's where Donald Trump is going to be giving his inaugural speech at the ceremony later on today. And of course, you can see a lot of areas where people can sit. They're doing all the kind of the prep work right now.
And then planning to address the nation with what he kind of called a bipartisan speech, supposed to not focus on the American people more than some of the controversial issues. Trump this morning waking up in the Blair House in Washington. That's the official guest house right across from the White House, a tradition for presidents-elect.
Our national correspondent Christine Frizzell is in D.C. this morning, and she has more.
Well, good morning from Capitol Hill, and finally the big day has arrived. After nearly 20 months on the campaign trail and really building his cabinet up since winning the election, Donald Trump will arrive right behind me to the U.S. Capitol very soon to begin this very new chapter in history. He's built hotels, casinos, and businesses around the world. He's fired celebrities on TV. He's even taken part in WrestleMania events. Now, Donald J. Trump will become the 45th president of the United States. Here's what you can expect today. First, if you want to watch the swearing in, you can see it right here on our station this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock in the West. We'll also stream it live on our website and mobile app. After the swearing in, Trump will make his first speech to the country as president, estimated to be just 20 minutes in length. Then at 3 in the afternoon in Washington, the inaugural parade will make its way down Pennsylvania Avenue. Later, the first couple will attend 3 inaugural balls. And somewhere between all of these events, President Trump has promised to sign several executive orders. Well, we're bringing you a look at the Capitol grounds right now. Sort of, you could say, the calm before the storm. Although I should say, even in the wee hours of this morning, the streets of D.C. kind of buzzing, much of them with people left over from last night's festivities. A whole lot of people in town. Real briefly, just looking ahead, it is expected to be about 45 degrees today and a chance of rain. Reporting in Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell. Now back to you.
Trump's former rival Hillary Clinton is going to be at the inauguration today. Of course, she's going to be there with her husband, former President Bill Clinton. But up to 62 members of Congress, they're planning on skipping it in protest.
Yeah, we heard from the CNN correspondent earlier this morning. It's the second largest congressional boycott of a presidential inauguration. Those lawmakers not the only ones protesting either.
Well, last night in New York, thousands, as you can see, gathered at the We Stand United rally. It was organized by Mayor Bill de Blasio, and it happened just outside of the Trump Hotel.
The mayor was joined by several celebrities like New York native Robert De Niro and filmmaker Michael Moore. Protests not only happening across the nation and down in New York City, but also here in the capital region. People will be on the lawn of the state capitol today, making a show that they're listening.
Yeah, show meaning a demonstration. It's a silent protest, and it's all planned in response to the upcoming administration's planned policy changes. Heather Kovar is joining us there live this morning. So, Heather, the organizers, they say that they want equality.
That is what they're saying. They say that's the message. They say that really today's silent protest is about sending the message that they will be listening and watching and will be ready to take action during this upcoming presidential administration. Now, that silent protest gets underway today right here in the West Capitol Park about 10 a.m. About 50 people are expected to attend. Now, this is going to be, like we said, a silent protest. That means no chanting, no yelling, no bullhorns. Instead, they asking people if you want to bring some signs. There will also be some materials available for you if you would like to make some here. Now, the organizer, Allison Sarnoff, says that she's really never been political before, but with the upcoming administration, she says that she felt she really needed to stand up for equality.
I hope they realize that people are not going to just sit back and let things happen anymore. I think we need to take more of an active approach to our government, and there's a lot of opportunities out there for us to do things.
And so she's making that opportunity. The silent rally begins around 10 a.m. right here in front of the New York State Capitol, and it is expected to go until about 2 p.m. Reporting live in Albany, Heather Kovar, CBS 6 News.
Heather, thanks. As we continue the countdown and the hours until the main event, we dug up some interesting inauguration facts. For instance, did you know George Washington's inaugural address was the shortest, only 135 words. A man of few words, I guess. Also in 1949, Harry Truman's inauguration was the first one to be televised. The coldest inauguration day, former President Ronald Reagan's second in 1985, just 7 degrees outside. Boy, that makes it seem like a little rain today might not be all that big of a problem. CBS 6 has you covered for the inauguration all day long. Our live coverage starts with CBS this morning. Coming up at 7 o'clock, just about 20 minutes away. We'll also be live streaming all the day's events at CBS6Albany.com. You go on the website, on Facebook, on Twitter today, you're going to find some kind of live streaming element. Go check it out.
And comparison, Jack, it almost seems tropical today. Okay, breaking news this morning out of Syria, where we just learned within the past hour that ISIS has destroyed part of a historic amphitheater there. Melissa Lee is standing by in our breaking news center with all the latest details. Melissa?
Julia, Syria's state-run news agency says ISIS has destroyed parts of the Roman amphitheater in Syria's historic town of Palmyra. This morning, media reports say the militants destroyed the facade of the 2nd century amphitheater along with an ancient Roman monument. ISIS recaptured the town in December from government troops 9 months after they were pushed out by a Russian-backed offensive.
Also this morning, Mexican drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman has landed in New York and is expected to appear in a federal courthouse in Brooklyn today. He's facing federal drug trafficking along with additional charges. A team from the DEA, Customs, and U.S. Marshals picked him up after he was extradited yesterday and then flown to the States. A Mexico City court denied El Chapo's appeal of the extradition. He faces 6 separate indictments all over the country and is expected to stand trial at a later date. CNN says he will not face the death penalty in the United States.
Happening now in Massachusetts. Pittsfield police say they need your help finding whoever was behind the wheel of a hit-and-run crash. Police say it happened shortly before 7 o'clock last night at the intersection of Linden Street and Robbins Avenue, not far from Wacona Park. Authorities say they're looking for a brown or gold Toyota sedan with windshield and front-end damage. We're told the person who was hit does have life-threatening injuries. Anybody with information should call Pittsfield police.
Happening today, this woman, 38-year-old Jean Mosher, is expected in Saratoga City Court on charges that are connected to a sexual assault case involving 2 victims under the age of 13. Yeah, earlier this week, her husband, Michael Mosher, pled guilty to 2 counts of predatory sexual assault. The DA tells us Michael was originally facing charges for 5 victims. His plea means the victims aren't going to have to testify at trial. Michael Mosher could face life in prison for each charge when he is sentenced in March. His wife has pled not guilty to the charges against her.
This morning, Massport says it struck a deal with the Lyft that will allow drivers from the ride-hailing service to pick up passengers at Boston's Logan Airport. The agreement takes effect on February 1st, but only drivers who've passed background checks will be allowed to make those pickups. Also this morning, Uber plans to pay $20 million to settle a lawsuit with the Federal Trade Commission. The FTC says Uber made false and misleading statements about how much drivers could earn. According to the complaint, Uber claimed drivers could make more than $90,000 a year in New York and $74,000 in San Francisco. The FTC, though, says less than 10% of drivers actually made that much money.
641, trying to get away from the violence in Syria. The number of refugees one city in Vermont plans to welcome this year.
And this wild police chase caught on camera. We'll show you where it happened and tell you how police finally managed to get this driver to surrender.
And your temperatures continue to trend well above average. We'll show you how mild it's going to be heading into the upcoming weekend. And also tracking a big batch of rain right now off to our south. That is heading in for your Friday night. Some wet weather. I'll tell you the timing on that, when it pushes in and when it wraps up. Coming up after the break.
Taking you back out live to Washington, D.C. On the right, you've got the kind of panoramic view of the Capitol and the stage where the crowd's going to be. And then on the left, a little bit of a closer look at the podium right there in the middle of the screen on the right.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be wearing ponchos when they're out there today because they are expecting rain in D.C., but at least it's, in the 40s and not single digits or something like that as inaugurations passed.
CBS Traffic is brought to you by attorneys Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti. Injured, helping you is what we do.
I'm Charlie Rose. Coming up, Donald Trump is sworn in as our 45th president. We're in Washington to begin our all-day coverage of the inauguration coming up on CBS This Morning.
Taking you out now to Washington, D.C., where in less than 6 hours and almost in less than 5 hours, Donald Trump is going to be taking the oath of office. And here we have the podium that's at the Capitol building.
It's been really interesting all morning long to see kind of the Capitol steps here come to life as people have been waking up, making sure that security is still tight, doing a final sweep, testing everything out. We saw the lights come on. It's been very interesting. We're going to continue following this all morning and also over on the Capitol Region's CW. So join us there.
Breaking news in Italy, where rescue crews continue to work in freezing conditions to find as many as 30 people still trapped in a hotel.
An avalanche buried the mountainside building, killing at least 4 people that we know of. Melissa Lee's been tracking this story since it first broke 24 hours ago. She joins us from the Breaking News Center. Melissa, what's the latest development?
Jack, police in Italy say 5 people are believed to have been found alive in the hotel buried by this avalanche. This morning, officials have requested rescue helicopters. The search for survivors has been hindered by heavy snowfall and fears the buildings at the mountain resort may collapse. A series of earthquakes from the day before caused an avalanche to slam the hotel. This is about 85 miles northeast of Rome. Heavy rescue equipment finally reached the hotel last night after crews cleared the snow and fallen trees. We know snow machines, helicopters, even search dogs were taken up to the mountain. Officials are basing the number of missing on guest registration and staff. They say it's possible some people escaped before the avalanche hit.
In Vermont, the mayor of Rutland says that he's thankful the community is welcoming the first of 100 Syrian refugees moving to the area, and says the families are grateful to be in the Green Mountain State. Those refugees will be arriving in Rutland over the next year. Children of all ages will be transitioning to Rutland City Public Schools. English language teachers will then immediately begin teaching the kids English to help them settle in.
In our society today, we are welcoming, we are prepared, we know what typically refugees have encountered, and therefore coming here, we can help and assist them.
Back in September, the White House said it plans to accept 110,000 refugees into the United States in 2017.
Caught on camera out of California, take a look at this. A dangerous high-speed chase overnight as police attempted to arrest a murder suspect. See them trying to force him off the road. He went through several areas, including downtown L.A. Police say the suspect drove recklessly, but also used his turn signal at times. They did try and use that pit maneuver sometimes to get him to stop. Eventually, they got the car to spin out. The driver and both passengers in the car are now in police custody. How about that? A suspect using his turn signal.
I know, geez. Okay, let's take a look outside here, bottom of the Northway. Not looking too bad, seeing light traffic volume here. We are accident-free. That's your CBS 6 Eye on Traffic. Hey, Alyssa.
All right, Julia, thanks. And tracking some rain, which is going to move in our area for this evening. Much of the day is going to be dry, but it's a different story down in D.C. Expecting wet weather through much of the day, either drizzle or on and off again rain. Temperatures will likely climb into the upper 40s for this afternoon. Here's this big batch of rain that I'm talking about off to our south and west right now, but gradually it'll keep making its way towards us. This morning there could be some sunny intervals. We have areas of clouds on this Friday morning, but additional clouds likely rolling in this afternoon ahead of that rain, and we eventually turn overcast. Temperatures not terrible, especially for January standards, lower to middle 30s in most locations. Schenectady 34, Albany 33, and check out these highs. I bumped the highs up for today and the weekend. Lower 40s pretty much everywhere for the latter part of your Friday. Again, those clouds are going to be rolling in this afternoon. More clouds, I should say, and we'll bring some showers in for tonight. 3 o'clock this afternoon, still mainly dry, but we do start bringing in showers around 5, 6 o'clock tonight, south and west of Albany. Probably a little more than this is showing here. And then through the evening, the rain will likely keep on advancing north. It is possible that some of this falls as freezing rain for the elevated terrain, but I'm thinking most of the area just sees plain old rain. This is 8 o'clock. Again, it will probably be a little more widespread than this model is showing. And then through the evening hours, we continue to see rain. Towards midnight, it starts to pull away, but we'll likely keep some showers around into the early morning hours and maybe even some drizzle to start your Saturday. But much of the day after that drizzle tapers off is going to be dry, with skies staying pretty cloudy both Saturday and Sunday. Check out these temperatures, 46 tomorrow. We are 44 on Sunday, and then temperatures coming down a bit more into the early part of next week. Unsettled weather rolling in for Monday and Tuesday. At times of plain rain, and at other times a bit of a wintry mix through that time frame. Wednesday we're dry up to 42, and then possibly some light snow around by Thursday of next week. Guys?
All right, Alyssa, thanks. Inauguration protests here in the capital region, and a drug lord extradited back to the United States. Back with everything you need to know before you walk out the door with your morning wrap.
CBS Traffic is brought to you by attorneys Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti. Injured, helping you is what we do. Here's your CBS 6 Morning Wrap, sponsored by Cumberland Farms.
We are just about 5 hours away from the inauguration of Donald Trump, set to become the nation's 45th president.
Yeah, so we've been keeping you up to date with all the preparation work that's underway down in the Capitol, which of course, you know, has to do with the whole setting up of the podium and the parade route, and then you have all the security as well.
So they've actually just dimmed the lights here. They had them up earlier to test everything out, sweep the area for security, make final preparations. Hopefully this is just something that they plan to turn the lights off.
They're testing the lights just to make sure, or they're just conserving electricity.
Right there, though, is Donald Trump's podium where he'll take the oath and then address the nation. There's the lights. How about that? All right, we'll continue checking in on the CW on this.
And I'm Heather Kovar here at the state capitol, where a silent protest is planned for today during the Trump inauguration. The organizer of the event says that she just wants to send a message that they are going to be listening and ready to take action during this presidential administration. Now, people are invited to bring signs. Also, sign-making material will be available. Organizer Allison Sarneff says she's never really been political before, but with the upcoming administration, she says she felt she needed to stand up for equality. Now, today's silent rally does start at 10 a.m. It's expected to go until about 2 p.m. and about 50 people are expected. Reporting live in Albany, Heather Kovar, CBS 6 News.
Mexican drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman has landed in New York and is expected to appear in a federal courthouse in Brooklyn today. He's facing federal drug trafficking along with additional charges. CNN says that he will not face the death penalty in the United States.
Taking a look at traffic and weather together right now. We are accident and incident free. Things look good on the Twins. That's your CBS 6 Eye on Traffic.
All right, Jack, thanks. And temperatures really not terrible for January this morning. Lower to middle 30s region-wide, and highs becoming pretty mild into this afternoon. We're 38 by lunchtime. 43 is the afternoon high. Some intervals of sun leading to cloudy skies, and then some wet weather for tonight. Guys?
Inauguration coverage continues with CBS This Morning, and we're headed to the CW. See you there.